Again. Hey, welcome, guys. Come on in, folks. We're just getting started here on this live stream. Got me, Jerry, Pixel Fucked, and Dave.
Down it up. You want me north, just like that?
Yes, we just want a center.
You want to cover up the Alabama cakes, though. You know what I'm saying?
It's all good, man. I'm gonna come up with a treatment. It's okay. Next time we wear plain shirts. It's all good. One step at a time.
Yeah.
Who do you got on there, man? I'm reading backwards. What am I looking at?
Alabama cakes.
Bam! I was there, man. You got that at the show, right?
Oh, I did with my kids. It was an amazing show. About 3 weeks ago. Incredible.
Wicked. Come on in, folks. Dave and I are just getting started. Hey, Dr. C and me. Family just entered the room, brother. That's Mike.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Come on in, folks. Glad you could be here, man. We're just getting started. So this is the second of two scheduled podcasts, or live streams, I should say, that we had for the podcast. So we had 10 episodes that went out in the month of August. We launched 6 episodes to start. We then carried it with 1 for the next 4 weeks, getting us to 10 episodes.
I'll just jump all over you if you've got stoner.
Do it. Go.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about the origin of the show and why we do this and what the deal is. And so it's without getting too involved, I'm going to throw it to Jerry because we'll see, get him to, because it was Jerry's original concept. So where'd it come from?
It just kind of percolated up, man. As the movie industry started to die out and opportunities for me started to die out during COVID, I always had these YouTube-y kind of, social media kind of ideas percolating in my head, man. And the one was a storytelling, because I like story. People always, hey, man, you're a good storyteller. I've heard that once in a while, and always fancied myself a bit of a storyteller, man. I had a couple mentors that were really good storytellers, and they kind of ingrained that in me, that one of the key things you could do, especially in radio, was to be a storyteller and tell a story and actually have something to say. Hey, the fish was this big, or it's better when the fish is a little bit bigger, right? So I always used to joke, and I'm sure Dave knows all this very well for the last 30-something years we've been hanging out. I tell mostly true stories. I always say, yeah, they're mostly true. Because if it was just the truth, it would be kind of boring. But the ones you're getting here on I Was There, Man, are people's stories, man. So it has nothing to do with me trying to make the fish a little bit bigger. It doesn't need to be with the ones that we've been collecting so far.
Yeah, and it started off as you recorded a few of your friends, and then we kind of realized that maybe they went into a little bit of maybe a sillier area than we wanted to go, and we decided that produced was a better spot for us.
Let me hop in there because I'm thinking about Mike coming in the room, family, one of the ones who were collecting from family and friends. And at the time, I was gung-ho, man. I took my nephew to a show when he was really young. I took him to go see Rancid, and he came downtown and hung out with me in an all-ages show that I could buy a beer and buy 2 and sneak him one and all these kinds of things. And it was you, Dave, that when we recorded his story, Brando's story of He Was There, Man, is when you went, I don't know if we can hear that, dude. You took a 14-year-old drinking. I was like, oops. I didn't even equate to me that he was only 14 at that time. So, yeah, we pulled those kinds of threads, man. Families and friends is how it started. And then Man on the Street. I was out busking. And I was seeing people pass by me, man. And the thing that's I'm really connecting with now, it's the people wearing the concert shirts are the ones that I stop. And I pitch. And I try to get that hook into them when I see them walking by. Hey, man, you wouldn't happen to have a concert? You didn't get that at the show, did you? You got a concert story for him?
Well, we've still got lots of friends that are kind of in the industry or that have gone to lots of shows. And I've reached out to a few of them. And we'll get into the shows that we've done and talk about some of our favorite moments for the first 10 or so. But moving forward, we've got a killer one off the hop that's going to be our first release next Friday.
Definitely.
Not today, but next Friday.
Definitely.
Yeah, and the idea of the production comes from, not just our radio background, but we're both post-production guys. I was a post-production audio guy, and you're a post-production video guy. So we come from the world of real thought, real creativity going into things, And the thing that always I shied away from was trying to compete with talking heads, whether it's, Pierce Morgan or Joe Rogan, and try and say, oh yeah, I'm going to be like those. Like, no, I'm not going to be like those guys. I don't have the cachet to be like those guys, but I can produce world-class audio right away with what I've got on my desktop. So that's kind of where it came from. And, speaking to people, I did, like you say, Man in the Streets. This has been ongoing, being developed for about 4 years, I think, because I was in Portland with my family and stayed at a hotel and at the time, and just interviewed people that were in a pizza joint. There's one good story out of that one we'll be airing this coming season. Some young guy was the hookup for some hip hop group, and we got to dig back into that. So it's a lot of fun that way.
I've got a lot of mine came from Man on the Street because I've been out busking almost daily for 4+ years. We've pulled threads with family and friends. We then started to pull our professional threads that you and I have both accumulated over these years, man. Being in bands, working in production, working in audio production, working in video production. So there's a lot more to come. We've only gotten a taste, man. Those 10 episodes that are out are we're only scratching the surface of what we can do with this show and where we're going to go with that.
Yeah, and it's all an experiment, right? Like these live feeds may work, they may not work. We'll figure out how it goes, and we'll go from there. But I like the idea that we're touching base. So what's your we can start with, I think, what's your favorite moment or your favorite story from the first part of the season, the first 10 releases?
10 episodes covered a lot of ground. I've got our schedule open in front of me on here on my computer. We went out of the cannon hard, man, covering the big boys, right? Yeah. Zeppelin episode 1, Stones in episode 2, and Floyd in episode 3. Man, you're hitting it really hard and heavy. All British bands, yeah, man, I'm looking, dude, there's a lot, man. I'd be really hard pressed because I feel I have somewhat of a personal connection with each and every one of the stories that we've told, man. Episodes 4 and 5 were Springsteen's. Well, you and I saw Springsteen together, man. Like, I've been a fanboy since I was a kid, seeing that face on those album covers as a kid and hearing the river and, so tough for me to answer, right? Like, I'm looking down the list going,
mine was Parliament Funkadelic.
Parliament Funkadelic?
That was my favorite. And because
it is,
yeah, because, well, part of it is I lived in Phoenix for a while, so I've got a soft spot in my heart for Phoenix. So I know the area he's talking about. I know the stroll he's talking about.
Sure.
And
is it still a stroll?
I don't know if it is so much now with online, but probably a little bit. I mean, I haven't been there in a while. Yeah. But just the way he was a storyteller. That's my thing. Is I love the storytelling side of it. And
Darren may have been one of our best, man, so far, dude.
Yeah, and he runs a nonprofit, right? So he's just a really cool cat, and we did other interviews with him for other things, and I mean he's a heavy storyteller. He was telling stories about, and just blew my mind, where he grew up in Los Angeles, and at that time he lived in the outskirts of civilization, kind of in LA, because LA County is so big that he and his family would trap rabbits to eat. So you think about that. It's a city of 10 million people now, and he's trapping rabbits. And basically, I mean, he's 10 years older than we are, I think.
Yeah.
And he was telling some cool stories. But yeah, he was a good storyteller for George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic. That was cool.
Hey, just to mention, please like, share, and subscribe, everyone. We are trying to drive traffic to the page for this show and the podcast itself, which is not our personal pages. But if you look at my profile, there's a link tree. The top link in the link tree is IWasThereMan's TikTok page. You'll also see our Instagram page. I believe I've got the YouTube up there. So you can find all the links in my link tree available in the description. Last week, we had a window up. We had an iPad signed in as the IWasThereMan. It was just easier and cleaner to do it this way, not mess with the third feed. Please like, share, subscribe, and check out IWasThereMan, please.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's an interesting thing because I'm always, reluctant to share and to brag, but who's going to brag for us if we don't do it? In our first month, we've had basically 29,000 views across all platforms. We're outperforming all audio podcasts, not all. We're outperforming average audio podcast new releases by a factor of 3 to 1 across pretty well every social media platform. So, we're having fun. We're doing good. I've reached out to, we've got a couple of different organizations interested in sponsoring us. So that's pretty exciting. That's the business side of things, and it'll keep us going so we can bring stories like Peter with Led Zeppelin, right? I mean, that was a cool story. You chatted with Peter, right? And he's sort of a wealth of stories. You can tell in his voice that he's got a few up his sleeve.
Peter's an amazing dude that I met while busking out on Front Street here in Toronto locally. Just a cool, you can tell he's got a little shag in his hair. Then it's maybe, I don't want to judge him. I'd put him in his 60s, and just took a chance one day and went, hey, man, you would happen to have it. This is when you and I were formulating this idea of how do we gather stories. Well, you're out in public, Jerry. See if we can gather some stories. Yeah. He was one of the first people, man. We hit a home run on one of the very first people I asked. Peter came with a bunch of stories that people are going to hear, especially coming up. I think we've even scheduled one of them later in this first season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I think we're going to go back to Peter, the well of Peter. Peter, man, just knocked it out of the park with that Led Zeppelin story in the 70s.
Yeah, it was fun doing the theater of the mind. Like that was, I like doing all the shows, and the first one out of the gate isn't going to be so much theater of the mind. It's more of an emotive story coming back for next Friday. But those ones that there's a lot of room to do sound design, theater of the mind.
Second he sets the picture of Chicago, paints the pictures, all I heard was the L train, the elevated train in my head. And I kept pushing that to you and stressing, like, we got to get the L train in there, man. That's the sound of Chicago. If you've ever seen the Blues Brothers, you know exactly what we're talking about.
yeah, for sure. And yet the muscle car sound and, the beer cans rattling. You knew, that puts you right there in the 70s back.
We were a little young, right? I was only 5 when that story's living out for him in the back seat of that car. But I got it. I had an older brother. And I understand perfectly well.
Well, for us, it wasn't a muscle car. It was your older brother in a Chevette with one busted speaker. Everybody's got their story from a lousy car. So
that's going to make it into IWasThereMan one day. I don't know it.
I don't know about that one. I want to keep that one. That's a little bit too incriminating, I think.
So if I got to pick one of these, man, it's a tough call because there's so many nuggets I could pull on and look at. I truly have a fondness for the mid-season finale, which was Tom Cruise Ship.
Yeah.
And it's because I get to relive my moment of being up on stage when I was 5 years old with the ink spots. And I've been on a cruise. And I've had a few too many and been in the karaoke bar on the Lido deck. Not with a legend like that, though. Anyway.
That's a good story as well, yeah. It's a connection, right?
This is why I love cruise ship stories. And this is why I could relate so much to Derek's amazing story of playing with those legends. Imagine being in a karaoke session with trying to have to sing one of the biggest ballads of all time with the guy who sang it 40-something years earlier.
Yeah, that painted a picture, and the fact and how that particular song was so amazing because it was a 60s track, but then it came back and became the soundtrack.
Multiple movies. After I looked up the two you listed, it was in a whole bunch of. Someone must have got the rights and started going, "Hey, man, we can make money off this." So 20 years later, those 60 songs all started to get put into movies, right?
I guess maybe it was the people that listened to it had the power to put it in the movies, and it had an impact on them, and so they were. But also it was the time, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, that was
classic songs are classic songs, and that one in particular is timeless for me. I've always loved "You Lost That Loving Feeling."
Yep. I like the Beatles one too. The Beatles one is cool because that leads us to we're going to go actively after people that we want to hear about. Like I've always wanted to hear stories about like John Lee Hooker would be a big one. I
Please.
wish I had seen John Lee Hooker, Marty Stewart. Marty Stewart would be like listening to somebody that saw him in Phoenix. Again, it's funny because you and I both touched on the ones that resonated with us were ones that we had personal, intimate connections with.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, right? And that's why these stories and that's why the show is doing well. So that's why you need to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, let your friends know, and you go up to Pixelfucked, aka Internet Elvis's Linktree, click on his name, and it'll give you the option to go to our IWasThereMan page. It's just a little bit convoluted for us because of the nature of TikTok. We can't bring it up right now easily. So this is the easiest thing, the next best thing.
I was there, man. Funny enough, talking Nashville and Marty Stewart and things like that. Yesterday, while I was out busking, this guy pulled up in his little Austin Mini, and I see there was a lineup of Austin Minis.
Did I say Marty Stewart? I meant Marty Robbins.
Marty Robbins, there you go.
Sorry. Marty Stewart, too.
I do
Marty
it all
Robbins.
the time.
Yeah, Marty Robbins.
I do it all the time.
You got a reason, man.
Hey, thank you for the gifts.
That's cool.
Appreciate that, sir. Thank you, Mike. Look at that. In-game gift. So yesterday while I was out busking, this guy pulled up in an Austin Mini, and we got to talk, in our Mini Cooper. We got to talking, and I could hear his accent right away. I'm like, hey, man, where you from? And he could see I was playing country music. Hey, I'm from Tennessee, man. I spent years in Nashville, and he had the thick Nashville accent. And it was the perfect moment, dude. One of the things that I've been chasing down personally, I want to get a story from someone who's been to the Grand Ole Opry. If you're out there, please reach out. Direct message me, Pixelfucked, Dave, the show. We'd love to get someone who's been to the Grand Ole Opry.
Let's get real specific and say Patsy Cline.
We can get someone who saw Patsy?
My kid's named after Patsy Cline, for God's sake. Yes.
There you go, dude.
That would be the thing.
There you go.
If you know somebody that saw Patsy Cline, preferably at the Grand Ole Opry, but we'll take anywhere, we want to talk to them. If it's your granny and she's 85, let's get it on tape, man.
Someone who's seen Elvis, someone who's seen Johnny Cash back in the day. I mean, back in the day. Yeah. There's people we could reach out to that's on Johnny Cash in Ontario.
It's kind of like if somebody was to
in 1989, but that's not who we're after right now.
Yeah, I feel like if somebody was to say, "Oh, did you see? Have you ever seen AC/DC? Or Motley Crue?" Yeah, I saw Motley Crue. Would you go see them now? Not a chance. I saw them at the peak when they did Dr. Feelgood, similar to those folks. Right? You want to hear about Johnny Cash in the '60s? When they were grinding it out or wailing.
Imagine getting the "I Was There Man" story from one of the prisoners.
Oh, there you go.
Happens to be clapping on one of those famous
we need
records.
A vision board. That's what we need for a background. We need a vision board. A vision board would be cool, and maybe we could do that. There you go. This is an idea. Could we do it at the beginning or at the end of each show?
Love it.
The intro, right? We've got visuals, so why wouldn't we have a vision board?
Add people to the vision board who we want to see.
Yeah, maybe pick two. Do you know?
Well, my obvious would be Elvis, and what I just threw out there, man. I can't move on. I want someone who's been to the Grand Ole Opry and saw someone badass. Yeah, we've got a couple slotted in here, man. I'm looking at. I'm seeing another Rolling Stones, or Sorry, I'm seeing a Stones Throw, which is the working title of one of the episodes. Not about the Rolling Stones, but about a dear friend of mine who I've worked with for over 20-something years ago, Graham Saywell, who is a professional roadie for Krista Berg and Supertramp. And he's got some kick-ass stories at the height of their powers. So in 79, 80. He was on a double bill tour with those guys, and he's coming with some badass stories. And that's our first professional roadie that's going to grace on his name with some stories.
It's timely with the Supertramp, especially.
Really timely with Rick Davies passing less than a week ago. I don't know, man. I grew up on Supertramp. I know Dave is one of the things that we're also starting to flush out. We're not on the same page necessarily with Supertramp, but a respectful enough guy to know that was a professional musician who is really, really good. So we lost a good one last week. So very timely to be coming out with a super tramp ish.
That segue, we could segue that into there is one format we're looking at, and it's kind of inspired by some of these podcasters that do multiple formats. They'll have several months, not like they'll have several months or years even of interviews. And then I'm thinking about Peterson, right? Where he's interview. And now he's taking phone calls from people and speaking directly to his audience. So for us, what we thought was, let's have some fun and because there's bands that we both agree that we don't like. We both acknowledge objectively they're wildly successful, and we are utterly jealous by the life that they've lived, by their success, by the fact that they're rock stars. But it doesn't change the fact that subjectively, maybe it doesn't hit too close to home for us.
Things that make you go, huh?
And one of those bands, and this is something that's pissed people off. Like when I was a kid, I first group I got into was AC/DC, really on my own.
Okay.
And at the time, for whatever reason, I felt like it was a choice between AC/DC and Kiss. Because I had a whole, a camp. This is 1979, 1980.
Okay.
And the whole camp was into Kiss, a group of friends. And then other people were in AC/DC. And I latched onto AC/DC. And that was it. And I didn't know why. But me being jaded now and over the time and listening to a song like Lick It Up, and this is what we're going to get into. But the problem is we both kind of agree on this one, I think. Kiss is, in my mind, more disco than rock. And AC/DC was just very AC/DC. What are you going to say?
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to go down this path right now.
No, but this is what we're going to talk about, right?
To me, it's that 4/4 beat. Like, you and I met Bob Ezrin. I don't know if you remember that, man, at Metalworks.
Oh, yeah.
We met. Yeah. We were in a session. We were a private session with him at Metalworks Studios, north of Toronto. Well, we got to see him come and speak to us directly.
The bassist from Triumph owns Metalworks Studios. Gil, I forget his last name.
It was the drummer. Wasn't it the drummer?
Was it the drummer? Could have been the drummer.
Yeah.
And he owns Metalworks just outside of Toronto. And Bob Ezrin, who's Canadian, who produced Pink Floyd's The Wall.
All those amazing live Kiss records that sold millions of copies.
Yeah, and all those Alice Cooper records. And we'd heard stories with the guy that we worked with where Ezrin would show up to the studio with a gun. Remember that? Fired off the gun one time at one session. And,
apparently it was a thing producers did back in the day.
Yeah, cocaine and, 9mm, apparently. That was
and handguns. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, anyway, so this is... Yeah, we've done a few things in music, not a lot, I suppose, when you compare it to people that are real musicians and real roadies. But going back to we'll end the topic on the upcoming Divergence, maybe once a month version of IWasThereMan. We're going to bring people on, guests, and we're going to debate and discuss the merits of bands. Could be songs.
Love them or hate them. We'll call it Love 'em or Hate 'em or something like that, man.
Something. Like when I say Africa by Toto, what do you think?
Some may say the greatest song written of all time.
Yeah, some may not. Those in this room may not. But that's okay. So, hey, like, share, and subscribe. Go up to Jerry's.
Absolutely, guys. I want to see 5 likes up there. Someone get on there and hammer that like button for us so we go home with some instant gratification tonight and we go home with some love. We'd really appreciate that. Some of the other upcoming shows, Peter's going to make a comeback, our lead-off storyteller. Peter, who told us this amazing story of his Chicago in 1977 with Led Zeppelin, comes back for another installment, 7980, I believe. We've got to get the date straightened out. And a really interesting Iggy Pop hotel escapade. We finally chase a rock star back to their hotel room.
And that could be X-rated, that one. We're not quite sure.
That one's probably going to be a little edgy. We may have to put that up on the Patreon. I'm not sure about how that one's going to go.
Yeah. Yep.
We've got Bean, lead singer from the Whiskey Shits here in Toronto hardcore punk band. Amazing guy. Amazing lead singer, amazing band. Telling us about a story of heading to Newfoundland with his band and adventures of getting screeched into town, as I called that one tentatively. We may hear from Derek again. I think we're going to hear from Derek Downham again, which is really epic story.
We're also going to try and spread our wings a little bit and see if we can't get. We're going. I think let's do that. We're also looking for female storytellers, and I know you've set one up. Coming up, we're going to interview her this weekend.
Yep.
And I also have
my friend Jessica this weekend.
Through a friend of mine, I've got one. Apparently, she was more on the groupie side, so I'm very much looking forward to speaking with her and getting her opinion on it. And it'll be hopefully a great story and a great chat.
Well, what did you call that wish list board? What was it?
It's called a vision board.
Vision board? Well, we knew we wanted a groupie story,
yep,
a roadie story.
Elvis. We
definitely need an Elvis story.
Marty Robbins, Patsy Cline, Ella Fitzgerald, John Lee Hooker. Just keep going and going. Johnny Cash.
We've got a list of those.
We've got a list.
I'd say Eric Clapton, but he may make the list of the other show that David
Yeah, because I've seen him. I saw Clapton twice, and one time I was absolutely blown away, and another time it was not so much. But then over time, and it's one of those things again where objectively I know he's one of the greatest that's ever lived. Period. I'm not
slow hand. Clapton is God.
I'm not an idiot. I'm not an asshole. But it's just sometimes it's like just not my bag. That's all.
I don't mean to put down your side. Well, we're on a happy note. I hate to go down that path with you. The other thing I really am trying to push you on, Dave, to get into the pipeline is an amazing story from the one female that we do have left, storyteller we have left, Kathy Young, Juno Award winner from 1974 for Best Female Vocalist, nominated in 75, well-connected woman, has some amazing, came out of the Toronto, Yorkville scene here in the late 60s with some amazing stories and amazing connections, man. Imagine playing in a bar and across the street is literally Neil Young and down the block is Gordon Lightfoot on the same Friday night. So we got some good stuff.
That's what you call Canadiana, I would have to say.
Not everyone's going to know that Toronto had a legit, bustling folk scene that produced international superstars, man. It was legit. The Toronto music scene was its own capital in the world, man. I've argued this point with you many points over the times over the years, Dave, that Toronto's had a status every once in a while. It peaked through in the folk years, peaked through again in the hip-hop years of the early 80s. We were a hip-hop capital, man. Before hip-hop hit LA, it made its way from New York to Chicago and Detroit and Toronto. Then there's some of the punk and grunge bands, man. I used to love. I discovered them first before my American friends even knew who they were, man.
Well, there are bands that broke in Toronto kind of before they broke anywhere else. And
absolutely. There's a whole list. We could do a special just about that list of bands that has done that.
Yeah, for me, and we're keeping an international focus because I want to make sure that we include people all over. Because I have friends all over the world, and so I think that's exciting. I actually have a friend of mine who's a cardiologist in London, and he's a huge music fan. And I think he saw Amy Winehouse, so I might have to reach out to him.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool because that's somebody that she would be.
She didn't do too many shows. She wasn't around very long.
Oh, God, that was one that's like brutal.
We were robbed. With that one.
Absolutely. So I was there, man. Even though my name says Dave and his name says Internet Elvis, go up to Pixelfucked, Jerry's
profile.
Your profile. Click on it. Click the link
from my Linktree. Top
link
there, man. Is the I Was There Man TikTok account, please.
And we're ubiquitous. We're as much as we can be on Spotify, on YouTube, and like I said before, we've got
Instagram,
29,000 views, and
Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, so it's pretty exciting. It's pretty cool. We're going to keep doing this. We're branching out to a couple different other avenues, including this. But next we can get back into the produced shows. There'll be produced shows for at least the next 3 weeks, and we might do the debate of purely personal, purely based on jealousy, petty jealousy. That's what we should call it, the petty jealousy show. Because it's totally
how many friends have had debated with a couple beers in them and over a doobie, how many times bands have debated, man, the merits of Deep Purple or whoever, Boston. We've got some legit
Here's
ones
a good
that
one.
I could pull
Here's
out.
a good one that I'll set you off for sure.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath without Ozzy.
Ooh.
There you go. See, we can go toe to toe on that because I was a huge. I mean,
You're a Dio guy. I know you're
Born
a Dio
Again,
guy.
like they're nothing. They're nowhere similar to any Ozzy albums.
Thank you for the gifts out there, Mike. By the way, appreciate that.
And but Mob Rules with Dio, and then Born Again with Ian Gillan. When he did that Zero the Hero, and you watch that video, that shit is so dark. It's like
Was Zero the guy slaying the dragons? I'm a little confused.
No, Zero the Hero. It's like it's. I think it's got. I don't know.
And
But I
do
think
the
it's got-
gauntlets protect you from the dragon fire?
No. The Hall of the Mountain King. Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is one of the. I think that one was just like some outcast loser. Zero the Hero, right? And they have this like they had a Rottweiler in the video, and that's when I first realized I wanted a Rottweiler.
You'll
But
have
the cool
to break
thing
it
was
down.
Ian
for
Gillan's
me,
hair at the
buddy.
time was down to his belly button, and he had the microphone, and he was headbanging, and it was the way they wrote the music. It was like a drone,
Gotcha.
and it's this pulsating drone, and he was headbanging at the same time and sweating, so his hair was stuck. So he was like Cousin It, right? And his hair was like,
Funny.
and it was so dark, and yeah. And never mind the album cover with the fetus with the fangs and the claws and shit, and red with the devil horns, purple
I have
back.
no idea what you're talking about right now.
Dude, really, man? Oh my god.
Sorry, buddy.
Born Again? I'll send it to you.
No idea.
Oh man.
Okay, we got some catching up to do.
Yeah.
Thank you for the gifts. I see gifts coming in. I think we've covered all the bases for this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a little backstory on the show, on the origins of the show. Tease where we were. Thank you for the gifts, man. Look at the gifts coming in.
Wow, what is that? 2
Right,
hearts.
we're getting in-app gifts from a family member, which is extra special, man. So thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
And we'll let everybody know that we'll be back next Friday with a produced show. And remind everybody, like, share, and subscribe. Go to Jerry's profile.
Check the Linktree.
Okay, Internet Elvis. There's the
I
Linktree.
was there, man. You're going to see our multiple platforms in there. Also, when this shuts down, I'm going to edit this later tonight, if not first thing in the morning, and get this posted up. This live stream will be posted up on YouTube. Just YouTube. And then maybe we'll put some highlights up on TikTok and Instagram, guys.
And we'll
Thank
work
you
on
for being there.
We'll
Please
work on
like,
it.
share, subscribe. I was there, man.
I was there, man. All
Cheers,
them
man.
shakes.